Hello everybody and welcome back to Teresa's Corner. I am Teresa Ruiz and I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. And just take a look at these beautiful blooms here. Can anybody guess what it is? Well, let me tell you. This right here is the Procatavola Golden Peacock. And today's video is going to be a CareCollab video. And this CareCollab video is going to be done by myself and Ninja Orchids. Nina will be posting her video sometime today as well. Now, if you guys don't know, the Procatavola Golden Peacock was registered back in 2002 by Kian Ming Yang, and the seed parent of this orchid is the Brassicalea Richard Mueller, and the pollen parent of this orchid is the Procatavola vitellinea, and I hope I pronounced that right. If I didn't, don't worry, I will put the pictures in the descriptions of both orchids so you guys get an idea, so you guys can see what I'm talking about. The care that I provide for this orchid is the basic Cattleya care that I would provide for any other Cattleya. It seems to work for me, and that's what I'm going to talk to you about. So let me take you in. You can see here that it's a pretty big orchid. It's about from the pot all the way to the last leaf. The tallest leaf is about a foot and like 4 inches tall. It's a pretty large plant. From the bottom of the pot to the top of the largest leaf is about a foot and 6 inches, and how I care for it is pretty much the basic Cattleya care for it. As far as light goes, fertilizing and water, the same requirements. At least that's what's working for me, and that's what I'm going to talk to you about. Okay, so light. During spring to late fall, I provide 6 to 8 hours of LED lights. The rest of the light that it receives is just natural sunlight, and that's because I grow them outdoors in a little tent, and you see it behind. It's my little greenhouse right there, and that's where it gets the rest of the natural sunlight, right? And I just compensate by providing 6 to 8 hours of LED lights. Now, during late fall to winter, all through winter, I grow these indoors, or at least I have been growing them indoors because it's my first year out in San Diego where I'm actually growing orchids, and I didn't know if it was going to be too cold. So I decided to grow these indoors during that period, and during that period I provide 8 to 12 hours of LED light, and that's because they don't get a lot of like actual natural light. The place where I have them, at least right now, I don't get a lot of like sunlight coming in, so that's how I compensate for that. Now, media, right? For this one, I have it in a chunkier bark, some rocks for well drainage, and the rocks, I use them for most of my orchids. You guys have seen I love using the rocks because I have a problem with overwatering. But yeah, bark and rocks. Alright guys, so you guys have seen the media that I use. Now for fertilizing and watering. For fertilizing and watering, you guys know, or some of you guys, if you guys follow me, know that I like to use the Orchid Pro. I also use the seaweed extract. I use calcium 5% because for some reason I feel like I lack in calcium. And then I use vitamin B for like when I miss the foliage. And then I also use once in a while the Super Thrive. For the Super Thrive, I also have it in one of these bottles. I just haven't labeled it. But that's pretty much what I fertilize with. And I alternate between just a regular plain water, no fertilizer. The following week, I'll use the Orchid Pro mixed in with a little bit of the calcium 5%. Then I go ahead the following week after that, I just use the seaweed extract and a few drops of the either calcium 5% or the Super Thrive. It just depends. Sometimes I forget where I'm at and I just end up using Orchid Pro and the calcium. But the way I water is that when I only water one orchid at a time. I have this little container and it indicates, I don't know if you can see here, but this goes up to 500 milliliters or 16 ounces. I have some rainwater here. So what I like to do is, if I use just the Super Thrive, is 1 drop per 4 ounces of water, right? So that's actually what I'm going to water with. The Super Thrive, that's all I'm going to use. So for the Super Thrive, I just use 1 drop right there with 4 ounces of water, and that's all I use. And I know it's a little harder to show you, but I literally just watered yesterday and I forgot to water this one, so I'm doing it now. There we go. 4 ounces of water and 1 drop of Super Thrive. That is per the instructions, and let me show you. Super Thrive, indoor plants, drop a cup, 1 drop per 4 ounces of cup. And I do like to follow the recommendations. There you go. You don't have to use the Super Thrive. You can use whatever I want. Like I said, I just alternate between regular water, fertilizing, regular water, and fertilizing. And I have noticed that I do lack in calcium, so that's when I supplement with my 5% calcium. Alright, so then I have my water, right, and already 1 drop of fertilizer. So I just go around. And this is how I do, like I said, when I have 1 orchid at a time to water, and that's not often. For the most part, I have a sprayer. You know, I mix in fertilizer per 1 gallon of water per whatever, how much fertilizer I'm going to use. I do keep track of how many parts per million of fertilizer I'm using. Like I said, when I water 1 orchid at a time, I really don't, because I follow the recommendations, and that's just pretty much how I water. You see that? And I just let it sit for a good 15 minutes. It will soak up the water and the fertilizer. And that's how I fertilize and water, you guys. And that's basically all my cattleyas. This one, like I said, I follow that same care. Now, for my leaves, right, I'll do either one of 2 things. I'll either use regular leaf shine right here, or I will make my own leaf shine. And the way I do that is I use neem oil, soap, and some alcohol. And I will grab a little pad here and I will spray the pad, and then I'll grab my leaves and I gently wipe it down, both front and back. And I do the same thing to all the leaves. The reason I'm doing this leaf shine instead of the neem oil is because last week when I watered, I used the neem oil. And that's how I kind of keep, you know, pest control down too. The neem oil is really good for that. But I do like to wipe down my leaves to make sure that, you know, all that dust buildup, I feel like they don't really absorb the sunlight if it's covered in dust. I feel like it's the same way with your face. If you don't wash it properly, your pores clogged up, and then, you know, you can't breathe. I don't know, that's how I imagine it. I'm not an expert, don't quote me on that. That's just how I see it. But anyways, that's how I do that. Now, I feel that this orchid is a pretty easy orchid to care for. And let me show you. Pretty easy and very vigorous, I believe so. Look at that growth right there. And it's pretty large already. And this one finally kind of peeked through. I hope you can see that. And then there is a third one. Let me see if I can get this rock from here without damaging it. You see that right there? That already is, that little eyelet's already swollen, and you can kind of see that it's peeking through already. So that is 3 different growths, different stages, but yeah, look at those green roots right there. And that's because I just watered it. See? Pretty easy, right? I hope you guys find this video useful. If you guys have any comments, questions, or concerns, do post those in the comments below. That way I can answer that for you if you have any questions. But yeah, this is pretty much how I take care of my Procatavola, you guys. Very simple, very easy. Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Also, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns for me, do leave those in the comment below. Not just regarding this plant, but any of my other orchids. I will gladly answer. Just bear with me. I don't always have internet access, so I do respond, and I do review my comments, and I do respond to them. Also, I'd like to invite you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so yet. I do post once a week, or at least I try to post once a week. Don't forget, hit the little subscribe and notification bell. And I hope you guys enjoyed this CareCollab video. Yeah, you guys have a good day.